Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Album Homework Assignment. We've got in the co-captain's chairs facing off today, we've got the creator of this program, Mr. Jamie Laszlo, and we've got Rich Catino. What's happening, guys? In fact, this is the original tandem that was originally kind of was the genesis of this whole show right here. Yeah. So 5 weeks in, we've got them on finally getting together. So they have both been given their assignments, 2 albums. Neither one of them has ever heard before, but the one who gave the assignee actually really likes that album. So we're going to see, do they like these albums enough to buy them, to maybe just stream them occasionally, or to forget them? So we're going to let's see, Jamie, let's get Rich go first today. So Rich, what was your assignment given to you by Jamie?
So I got the Screaming Cheetah Wheelies, which I don't really remember them at all. I know they were a 90s band, right? Came out in the 90s with a few albums, right?
Yes.
So that was during an era that I wasn't listening to anything that was 90s popular, the current genres that people were listening to. So like grunge and alternative and later new metal. I never followed any of that stuff. I mean, I knew it was out there, I heard it, but it wasn't my cup of tea at the time. I was listening to other things, more of the European bands that were starting to come out overseas. So the Screaming Cheetah Wheelies was totally foreign to me. I don't even think I knew the name at the time. But
they got some radio airplay a little bit, and they had a video or two, didn't they, Jamie, on MTV?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't remember ever hearing them on the radio or seeing them on MTV. I didn't have cable at the time.
Here in New York, they were, because they were kind of like a buzz band for a little bit when they first came out. Yeah.
Were they lumped into the alternative sounds, the grunge sounds? Were they kind of in the middle someplace?
I think they were lumped into the more of the jam bands like Blues Traveler and
Blues
stuff.
Traveler,
and maybe on Horde Fest, if you remember the Horde Festival. Yeah, where it was like Fish and Blues Traveler, maybe Black Crows.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave Matthews Band. I thought that kind of reminded me of a little bit.
Even though I do not like that band, yes, they're lumped into that.
Kind of a little bit like that too, I thought. But yeah, Blues Travelers too. Yeah.
That and a little bit of arena rock thrown in.
A little bit.
That's why I gave it to you, because of that little arena rock element. So
yes, like I think I noted a couple songs here that were kind of arena rock-ish, but I don't know if you'd call it, maybe like I Found Love or Good Time. Like Good Time I thought was very catchy for that type of a song. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes, Good Time.
Yeah, but the rest of the album I was pleasantly surprised, even though it's not in my wheelhouse, especially for that time period. Now that I'm older, I guess I have a different appreciation for those kind of bands, even though it's not really my thing. But it was, I found it enjoyable after a while, and a couple of them, the hooks stayed in, I got the hook in my head right now for a Good Time, especially, I think.
That guitar, if I remember correctly, that guitar player was pretty good.
What's that?
If I remember correctly, that because I had one of their CDs back in the day, that guitar player was always pretty good. I think that's the reason why.
This one, I'm thinking, the debut.
Yeah, that's the one I had. Yeah. So the one that Rich is listening to, what's the name of the one that Rich is listening to again?
Magnolia.
Magnolia. Okay.
Yeah. And they do a lot of guitar work. There's a lot of guitar things going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
in the 90s, there weren't a lot of solos in the 90s. I gave you an album of solos.
Right. But even the grunge bands, they had some soloing going on, like early Pearl Jam did. And of course, Soundgarden and Alice in Chains had solos.
Yeah, true.
But they were more metal than I would say grunge. I think everybody agrees with that they're more of metal bands still.
So Jamie, hold up that album again, the one that the Magnolia.
One of my favorite albums from the 90s. Yeah, Warren Haynes is on this album too.
Warren Haynes is on that? Wow.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable.
You don't know it doesn't list what songs he plays on, but he plays on like 2 or 3 of them, but you can kind of guess.
Yeah, he's got a pretty unmistakable sound. Yeah. See, I don't remember that when it came out at all. I only remember the debut, and then I just kind of like lost touch with them totally.
They don't have too many albums though. I looked at their discography. There's like maybe 5 or something. 3
albums, 1 EP, and a live album.
Okay.
There's your 5.
The one that came after this was a bit of a disappointment for me. Big Wheel, I believe it's called. But this one, I listened to this nonstop when it came out. And I played for people. I'd make mixtapes for people and put songs on there. I was trying to spread the word by myself with this band. I don't know why they weren't bigger. I don't know why they didn't have hits when Blues Traveler was having hits.
Yeah.
But the title track, it's got a mean guitar riff.
Yeah.
And Father Speaks is like a 7-minute epic that just builds and builds and builds. So if you're out there and you guys maybe kind of remember them, stream Magnolia and see if you like it. You could buy it cheap on eBay too for like $5.
And the opening track, I got to say, at first, I wasn't too into his voice. It threw me off. It's a different type of he's got a different type of a texture to his voice, but after a while, I got used to it, and it's not bad.
Yeah. And it comes in with harmonicas right at the beginning. And I was thinking,
yeah,
Rich is gonna go, this is gonna be a long listen.
No, it's not bad. It's good for a change of pace. Good for like this type of weather, hanging outside, just chilling out type of relaxing music. I enjoyed them.
Cool.
Well, the 3 magic questions, Pete.
That's right. So Rich, would you consider buying it? Would you maybe listen to it online, stream it occasionally, or would you just kind of forget about it after we're done with this episode?
I'd probably stream it online occasionally. I don't think I'd buy it because I don't have much of these type of bands in my library. But if it's your speed, then I would say definitely pick it up. Definitely a purchase. It's very enjoyable.
There you go.
That's a win.
Like for somebody, like I said, that was totally the opposite of what was going on in America, on the radio, what I was listening to. For me now, listening to it now and enjoying it, it's cool. Listen, I just didn't listen to them at the time. I probably heard the other bands at the time that were similar to them. I just don't remember this name.
Yeah, and they got kind of a weird band name too. I wonder if in certain aspects it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of weird. It's really long. I mean, even Rich struggled trying to say it like the when we started the episode.
Screaming Cheetah Wheelies.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's different. When you remember you remember the name, it's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another reason I love this album is because I don't remember any of these songs being played on the radio. So they're all equal in my brain. Imagine if Back in Black never got airplay and you're like one of the few people that owned it. You Shook Me All Night Long. I bet you'd like it a lot more if it was just, like this underground album.
Yeah. True.
So they never had a hit. They never had like a top 10 single.
You know what?
Single or anything like that.
Shaking the Blues from the first album made it to number 9 on the Hot Rock track list. But no, not top 40s. No MTV Play. Very little.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
The lead singer is now a gospel guy, and he actually won a Grammy for best roots gospel album or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Shaking the Blues, I think was that was the one song. Yeah. I mean, there were a couple other tracks from that album that I think that had hit potential. It's just a fun, good rocking album.
Yeah. This one's more textured than the first one.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, we got to stream it occasionally online. So yeah, like Jamie said, I think that's a winner. That's something.
Oh, that's a win
Rich
for me.
Never heard before. I was like, this is okay, right?
And oddly enough, the one I gave you, Jamie, which we didn't know we were picking for each other. We just went blindly into this. Yeah. I gave you a band that I was listening to at the time when this band was out and all those 90 bands was out. So I gave you Blind Guardian, who I was listening to a lot in the 90s, along with all the other bands like Stratovarius, Gamma Ray, Hammerfall, Halloween, Ed Guy, all those bands.
Right. And that's what I wanted us to do. Because look, when it comes to the 70s, I think me and Rich were pretty close. We were walking on the same path. We're like a couple of drunk buddies like this. Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. When the 80s happened.
We all grew up on those bands.
Right. But when the 80s happened, we kind of branched off in 2 different paths.
Right.
Still kind of close to one another, maybe. Shouting distance, like, how's that new Rat album, Rich?
That was totally me, man. I was on the Sunset Strip.
How's that new Cold album over there? All right. And then when the 90s came, we weren't even in shouting distance.
2 different continents. I was
on 2 different planets.
European bands.
So I wanted us to give each other an album from the 90s that we both love, that the other one, one from your path, one from my path.
Right.
So you gave me Somewhere Far Beyond by Blind Guardian,
which is still my favorite Blind Guardian album.
I was just going to say, I know that's one of Rich's favorites. So yeah.
Yep.
So when I saw what you gave me, I said, "Oh, power metal, God, this
So
is
wait,
gonna be. I
before you
can't
start-
wait to rip this apart."
But wait, in the 90s, were you familiar with power metal at all, or you were totally not familiar with any of those bands?
I didn't know any of that. I knew the logos. You know,
Right.
I still listened to metal in the 90s. I mean, I was buying the John Bush era of Accept and all the Maiden albums and, you know, things like that. But when it came to those bands, when I saw the album covers, the
Right.
shinier the logo looked,
Yeah.
the further I stayed away.
And the more Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy.
Yeah, I was
look,
like, you know,
stayed away.
Dio took it to a certain level and,
Right.
you know, and it was cool. But these guys, this is why I don't like power metal. Let me put it this way, per
But wait,
se.
But wait, before you
Person.
go to say that, what power metal are you talking about? Are you talking about these bands from the first wave, or are you talking about the Dragon Forces and that silliness?
I'm going to tell you going into this album,
Okay.
my view on power metal in general.
Okay.
Going in. So I can't help but do props, Pete.
That's your thing, man. That's, you know.
Let's say this is a plate of heavy metal. See? Big, hearty, robust, lot to digest.
Well, you send that over here because I'm pretty hungry, man. So that looks good.
This is cheap Kroger brand sauce, Pete. You don't want this.
Oh, okay.
I didn't spend the big bucks for props. But has just the right amount of cheese, just like metal. How do you turn, now going in, I was thinking, how do you turn this plate of heavy metal into a plate of power metal? You add all the cheese. Now you have a
You're
plate
thinking of
power
you're thinking
metal.
of the you're thinking of what I said, Dragon Force and all these other bands that came
Yes.
later.
That's what he says, going in.
That's Dragon Force.
Right,
It
okay.
went Dio to Dragon Force in one swoop.
So you didn't go in between anywhere. So this was kind of a learning thing for you then?
Yes. So when
Cool.
I saw the year 1992, I was like, you know what? This is pre-Dragon Force. It's only 5 years after Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1. So this is early in the game. And then I saw 43 minutes long. Oh, thank you. Because I know there's probably like 67-minute albums out there.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Double albums,
Right.
yeah.
I was like, he could have gave me some epic long double disc Hammerfall thing. But I don't think you're a big fan of Hammerfall, are you?
I am actually.
Oh, you
But
are?
we can get into that at another time for another topic.
Let's start me off with, look, when you start Cocaine, you're not Tony Montana. You do little lines and you build up to Tony with his face in the pile of cocaine. So let me start off 43 minutes early on in the game, because this had a little bit more grit to it, a little bit more meat on the bones. So when I put it in and the song started, the first one, Time What Is Time. Yeah.
Love it.
It was good. I mean, I was like, when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, am I gonna like this? I want to rip it apart. I don't want to like it. So, but the time, what is time? It was okay, but then the chorus came in. Time, what is time? Very Halloween-like. I could see it being on a Keeper's album.
Their first 4 albums are very influenced by the first 3 Halloween albums.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad. I'm like, okay, one song down, and I only got like 37 minutes left, and I'm kind of enjoying it. Cool. I do love, you know, sometimes cheesiness works for me, and it's goofy as all hell. The last word he sings in that song, forever, but it works. Kind of like the
find them
Beastmaster
cheesy though.
movie.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What do you find cheesy? Is it the things about power metal that Dragon Force took it to ridiculous?
I'll tell you what it is. This is what
or is it the lyrics and the topics? I'm trying to figure that out.
I really don't like when the band's playing as fast as they can. There's this moment in power metal sometimes where it's, hey mom, look what I can do. Because remember when you were a kid and you were riding your bike without your holding onto the handlebars, you're like, mom, look, and your mom's like, yeah, Johnny, I see.
But these
That's
early
what's going on sometimes. And look what I can do. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't impress me. Yeah, it's talented, but that doesn't get me going, and it never will. Write the song. And when they're doing that and the band's playing like this and the singer is carrying the melody, almost singing like twice as slow as the rest of the band, it throws me off. Just either sing fast with the band or the band slow down for the singer. Be a pop band, because the singer's singing a pop band while the rest of the band is being a speed metal band, and it clashes for me. And the lyrics can be cheesy. The style of singing can be cheesy. Those album covers with the pastel colors and everything. The whole package goes overboard for me. And I don't think I'm the only one out there. I mean, who feels that way? Maybe I am. I never talked to anyone about power
I'm
metal.
like that with certain bands in the power metal genre. I am. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
totally get where you're coming from. Yeah.
In certain albums too, because not every
Yeah.
band writes the same album every time either. When you get to
Correct.
the band.
Correct.
This is
There's a
what
lot
I
of
wish.
variety and different topics and different lyrics and different songs too.
Yep.
I tell you what, I wish I could go through a bunch of power metal albums. Let me come over to your house, Rich. I'll go through all your power metal albums.
I'll give you a whole laundry list, and I think you're going to get a nice variety, and you're going to find out they're not all the same.
Right. And I'll check off the one or two songs I like from every album.
Uh-huh.
I will make one kick-ass mix CD of power metal.
Cool.
But there is a lot for me to go. That's like finding gold in the hills of California. I'd have to shift through a lot of worthless rock to get to the gold.
Well, I think
That's
between
a
me
lot
and
of work.
we'll give you some great suggestions, and you get.
I'll
a good
bring my
variety.
little thing that they used to use to get to the gold.
So what else
song two.
besides "Time What Is Time"? Yeah.
Yes, Time What Is Time is all right, and I love the forever, even though it's cheesy as hell. I sing along with that one word. Journey Through the Dark has that "Hey Mom, look what I can do" playing in the back, but at least the lead singer is for the most part singing pretty fast too. He's not carrying a melody that the band is not. Black Chamba, as he says, Black Chamber, very short.
Yeah, he's got an interesting accent, right? When he sings some words.
Yeah, you can tell English isn't his first language.
Right.
It's like a minute long, but here's one of the things I'm not a big fan of here. He changes octaves and styles 3 times within 7 seconds sometimes. And you know, if you're going to change style, do it less often, and then it has more of an impact for me. Less is more. Ingve Malmsteen, less is more. What's that?
What's his next song after that?
Theater of Pain. Now, Rich, now we're cooking with a magical fire here.
A great
Theater
hook
of
there.
Pain.
It's simple, right? And it's great.
This song will be played in this house
Nice.
for all time, for the rest of my life. The way I eat and drink the next 7 or 10 years, the rest of my life, this song will be played in this house. Yeah, it makes me want to. The beginning, the keyboards in the beginning, and then the I can listen to that all day. And it makes me want to drink beer out of a stein with wizards and elves and all kinds of stuff. But yes, the only thing I have against this song is they named it after a crappy Motley Crue album. Because when I think of Theater of Pain, I think of that stupid album.
It's actually half pretty good, I think.
What, this song or Theater of Pain, the album?
Oh, Theater of Pain from Motley Crue.
Oh, well, that's a discussion for another day.
I know. You're totally Motley Crue.
Those albums have a charm to them. It's like watching bad horror movies. I know it's bad, but there's still a charm. But I'm going to get back to this song in a little bit.
Okay.
Theater of Pain. We'll come back to that. Then we go on the quest for Tandalorn.
Favorite song on the album with "Time What Is Time."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which
it's
Ty
okay.
Denton from Halloween is on that song too.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, I own 3 Halloween albums and the 1 live EP, and that's it.
Oh,
I like
you never
Keeper
got into the night. You
Part
never
One.
heard the '90s albums. You never heard "Master of the Rings" and "Time of the Oath" and
That's
Better
his.
Than
That's
Rome?
his next journey here. That's.
I was.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
those albums.
Yeah, that's my next journey through the dark.
Yeah, Journey Through the Power Metal.
Yeah, I don't know anything about those albums. I was on another planet, Rich. I was listening to Pearl Jam.
I hear you. You were,
Everything.
still in America, and I was over in
Cracker
Europe.
and Counting Crows.
Right.
All the bands that would. I almost gave you a Cracker album or a Sponge album. So you just thank me, sir.
All right, next time.
I could have made
But
your life a
surprise me. I
living hell.
want to be surprised like this time. I don't want to have any clue as to what I'm getting into.
So this quest for Tandalorn is okay. It's all right. Now if this was the song though that they wanted to recruit me to go on the quest, I don't know.
You don't think that hook and the melody that goes with it is so catchy?
That part is the best part of the song. Yes. It's not bad. But I mean, if that was the recruit song, I might say I'm gonna stay back in the village. You guys go ahead without me. And I mean, with all the burly men gone, anyways, I might stand a chance with some of the hotter elf chicks in the village. And they sing on a quest for Tandalorn, we lost our way. So they're not coming back anytime soon. That's too bad. Then Ashes to Ashes. Not a bad song. This guitarist, though, he plays great when he slows things down for me, I find.
But they do mix it up, though. If you notice, they don't always play fast.
They don't.
And the melody
the lyrics,
is very important, and the melody is very important to the song, always.
right? Yes. The lyrics are a little cliche. I mean, "Hallowed Be Thy Name" was cool when Maiden did it 10 years before. In 1992, I don't know if that was starting to get cliche, but definitely in 2021, it starts to sound a little cliche. But it's the ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Not bad. It's cool. That's when the song shines for me. The Bard song, "In the Forest." Slower track. I guess after a long day of taking journeys through the dark and questing for Tandalorn, it's time to set up camp and sing a song like this, get out the loot and chill around a magical campfire, just like the album cover. I believe they're singing this song on the album. And then there's Bard's song, "The Hobbit." Time to start Dungeons and Dragoning again, because I guess there's a rustle in the forest. They're being under attack or something. But the Piper's Calling is just a real quick bagpipe. I didn't know if they were real bagpipes or not. I thought maybe they were keyboards, but they're real bagpipes. So that's a little interlude before we go into Somewhere Far Beyond, which is this big 7-minute
Another
epic.
one of my favorites. That's my third favorite of the album.
I assume listening to this 7.5 minutes long, they're putting everything they've done prior into one song. They got the bagpipes, they're doing folk metal, traditional power metal, speed metal. It's all there. And I feel like if I was at the show, everyone would go, "This is their best song." And I'd be like, "Yeah, it's okay." Like I'm missing something. I feel left out with this song. Plus, by this time, I don't know. I'm getting a little power metaled out. Maybe by this time, a little speed metaled out, a little hobbited out, a little bagpiped out. So I don't know. It says the march of time has begun. It's just begun. I might be ready to. I'm glad it's 43 minutes long. That's what I'm saying.
So I did not get you on board with power metal with that album. I might have to pick something different next time. Maybe.
I was pleasantly surprised. Now these are my notes listening to it for about 4 times. I will tell you, I went on a walk this morning and I put it in the headphones, and all these issues I had, I started not minding them as much. His styles in singing didn't bother me as much. I didn't notice it that much. In the fast playing, I think I started to hear melody in it that I wasn't hearing prior. And when Theater of Pain came on, I just picked up my pace walking. I probably looked like a fool out there shaking my hips in the neighborhood when it came on. But I want to talk about bonus tracks too, real quick.
Yeah, great bonus tracks.
So they do Trial by Fire. It's a Satan cover, and it's a straight ahead rocker, and I enjoy it. It's fast paced, and the lead singer's singing fast. This lead singer reminds me of a cross between Dee Snider and the dude from Savatage, John Oliva.
Really? I don't hear
I
any.
kind of sense those two combined into one. Yeah, this band's more Savatage than Dragon Force to me.
Oh, totally. And Halloween.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Spread Your Wings by Queen, they do.
Great cover.
I don't think that's a good cover. I don't
Really?
think that cover. Yeah, I think in
Hansi's
order
a
to-
huge Queen fan.
Who is?
So
Yeah,
am
lead
I.
singer Hansi.
So am I.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge Pat Benatar fan, but I don't karaoke her songs when I go into bars.
Pete, how do you feel about that cover?
Well,
I don't know if I've ever, because I don't think I've ever heard it, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
when he does the line, spread your little wings and fly,
Mhm.
I giggle. It doesn't
Okay.
look, I think to pull this song off, you have to be a little bit flamboyant.
Plus, having the accent too kind of throws it off, I guess. Also, it's a
Yeah.
different. It's
Yeah.
It's a little bit of an acquired taste.
And I think too,
Yeah.
Rich, I think early in Hansi's accent earlier on was really heavy. You don't hear it as much anymore, but man, in the 90s, you heard it a lot. Yeah, that could
True.
be part of it.
Yeah, Freddie
Sure.
Mercury pulled it off. He can't. I think,
Mm.
look, I'm just gonna say it. I think to pull a song off like that, you have to be flamboyant and gay. I think that helps. You got to be with at least 5 guys in your life to pull a song off like that. 5-guy quota. And I don't mean a cheeseburger place. So yeah, Freddie can pull it off. Elton John could probably pull it off, but power metal band with a burly kind of voice, no.
Mm.
So, but the Theater of Pain classic version, it's a little less busy and it lets the
Yeah.
song breathe. And that's the version I like the best. The groove
Okay.
rises up and the busyness comes down. So yeah, great song, crappy album, great song. But this was fun.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So what would you do, Jamie? Would you buy it? Would you maybe just listen to it occasionally online, or would you just kind of forget all about it?
well, Pete, look. I'm an easy-
Or how about this option? Does it change your mind a little bit about power metal, and would you investigate some more of these bands and see what else they have to offer?
Okay, Rich. Yes, I might investigate. I was listening to some later. I was just skimming through some of their later albums.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to see where they are now.
Okay.
30 years later.
Mm.
I like
Okay.
this album more or less. I mean, it's a mixed bag, but I would say I generally like it. And look, I'm an easy date, Rich. I'm an easy date. It doesn't
Okay.
take much from me. All right. You know,
Purchase.
all you
There
gotta
you
do
go.
is bring over a pizza and a movie, and I'm probably gonna put out. So I'm an easy date. Yeah, I bought it, and especially for Theater of Pain because I would be
Cool.
playing that a lot. And the first song, I like when I listen to what's the first song called again?
Time, what is time?
Got time, what is time? Yeah, I'll be jamming that one too. And I'm sure I'll let it roll and play a few times in my life. But yeah, so I bought it. It was worth the $12.99, definitely.
Nice.
But it was fun. And I want to say one more thing. Doing these exercises, I'm in a time in my life where you start thinking about the end of your life, because once you get past 50, you think you'll live forever in your 30s. Once you get past 50 years old, you're like, man, time, what is time? It's short. So I start listening to albums, and I want to listen to so much music before I go that I don't give an album a chance anymore. I listen to that, and then I'm like a dog, next shiny thing. This exercise is reprogramming my brain to sit with an album for a while, play it a lot, digest it.
Yep.
And I'm doing that now with other albums that aren't part of this program. So that is a good thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yep.
Good point.
Yep.
So I would say, as far as Blind Guardian goes, I don't know, Rich, would you say if Jamie was to investigate like a full album next, to maybe give that a shot with Nightfall on Middle Earth? Maybe that's their most popular one, right?
What
It
year?
is, but that's a longer album, and it's got all those interludes and intros
Yeah.
and outros, and that might be too much. Maybe the one
The
before,
early stuff is more
Imaginations-
straightforward, right? Yeah,
Right, maybe Imaginations from the Other Side,
perhaps,
the one before, maybe.
perhaps.
All right, I'll do both.
Yeah.
I'll do both this week.
I'd also say too, Jamie, and again, I like them a lot, but because I think they're like one of the power metal bands that I don't think fall into a lot of the traps that some of the other ones I don't like to it. But Primal Fear, you might like. because they're really heavy, and then they don't rely on the fast speed stuff all the time. They don't sing about Dungeons and Dragons, and they kind of have this priest thing to them, sort of. So
They're
that
very much
Their
like the
name.
Sons of Judas Priest.
Their name sounds heavier. Primal Fear.
yeah.
Dragon
And the
Force.
singer, man, the singer, God, what talk about a singer in a range and his
Oh, Ralph Sheepers, yeah.
power. Jeez, incredible.
Yeah.
All
So,
right,
cool.
Yeah.
So there you have it, everybody. We got two pretty much thumbs up, Screaming Cheetah Wheelies and Blind Guardian today. So a little 90s kind of alt jam rock, or whatever you want to call Screaming Cheetah Wheelies, and some power metal.
Real fast, Pete.
Yes.
Today, 1993, 10,000 Maniacs, Unplugged, Dire Straits on the night.
Did you watch the episode yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, I'll keep my mouth shut then.
Okay.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
10,000 Maniacs?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, watch the episode. Something was similar there. So are you going to eat that plate of pasta?
No, not with that cheap ass sauce on it.
Oh, a lot of wasted cheese there, dude. Come on.
Hey, I spend money for this show.
I know you do. I know you do.
I don't mind the $3.99 on cheese.
All right. Well, there you have it, everybody. So we got 2 thumbs up today. We got 1 purchase, 1 stream. So that's all good in my book. So I want to thank Rich and Jamie for taking part in this little listening experience. This was a lot of fun, and stay tuned for next week. We've got Jim Bakke and Lynn Versace going head to head next week. So that should be another fun episode. So stay tuned for that. A lot more. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Look for Jamie and Rich here on the channel coming up soon. Rich, we got Monsters Den next week, or this coming week. And Jamie, we got to get you on one of the other shows coming up soon too. And then we'll hopefully see both of them in other album homework assignments in the weeks and months to come. So stay tuned for that and a lot more. I am Pete Pardo for Jamie Laszlo and Rich Catino. See you all real soon. Take care.